the solar system in 2012 and is currently more than 15 billion miles from Earth.
Little liftoff. The roll program is in on time.
Voyager 1, the intrepid spacecraft launched in 1977, has long been humanity's furthest emissary into the cosmos. For decades, it has transmitted invaluable data from the farthest reaches of our solar system and beyond, offering glimpses into regions no other human-made object has touched. Yet even after all these years, Voyager 1 continues to astonish. Recently, the spacecraft made an encounter that defies conventional understanding, a phenomenon so inexplicable it has reignited debates across the scientific community. What makes this event even more compelling is the evidence suggesting Voyager 1 might not be alone out there. Before we start, hit the like and subscribe buttons for more exclusive news. The encounter began as a series of anomalies detected in Voyager 1's telemetry. What initially seemed like a routine disturbance in the spacecraft's aging communication systems quickly escalated into something far more enigmatic. Instruments that had been operating reliably for decades began returning data streams filled with strange, repeating patterns, signals that bore none of the hallmarks of natural cosmic radiation or mechanical error. Instead, the patterns exhibited a complexity that couldn't be easily dismissed. These weren't glitches, they were messages, or at least they resembled messages in a form that defied every decoding algorithm thrown at them. The location of the anomaly made the situation even more baffling. Voyager 1, having long since crossed the heliopause and entered interstellar space, was drifting through a region considered to be relatively empty. It should have encountered nothing but low-density plasma, cosmic rays, and the ever-faint echo of solar influence. Yet in this cold void, something stirred. A wave of electromagnetic disturbances rippled through the plasma, registering on Voyager 1's plasma wave instrument. The patterns were synchronized, rhythmic, and impossibly organized, as if responding to Voyager's presence. Scientists rushed to compare these findings to prior unexplained events in deep space, and while Voyager 1 had previously registered oddities in the plasma density or unexpected temperature variations, nothing had matched the regularity and persistence of this latest encounter. Over a span of 3 days, Voyager continued to receive and transmit data from this unknown source. Then, just as suddenly as it began, the signal ceased. The silence that followed was deafening, not because of the absence of sound, but due to the questions it left behind. The implications of such an encounter are staggering. First, there's the challenge to our understanding of interstellar space. It has always been perceived as a sparsely populated void, shaped primarily by ancient stellar winds and diffuse atomic particles. If something organized, possibly intelligent, exists out there, or can at least generate directed signals, then the very nature of what we consider empty space must be reconsidered. It raises the possibility that interstellar space might harbor phenomena or entities beyond our current scientific framework. Further analysis of the data revealed something even more compelling. The frequency modulation of the signals seemed to shift subtly as Voyager 1 moved. The changes weren't random. They mirrored Voyager's trajectory and velocity. It was as if whatever had generated the signal was aware of the spacecraft's movement and was adjusting its output in real time. Such an interaction implies not only detection, but awareness and potentially intention. Another layer of intrigue surfaced when astronomers coordinating with the Deep Space Network picked up extremely faint echoes of the same signal, coming not just from Voyager's vicinity, but from multiple directions at once. If these faint reverberations were real, it meant that Voyager 1 was not the only point of contact. Whatever phenomenon this was, it either spanned vast regions of space or had multiple sources distributed across the interstellar medium. This changed the tone of the conversation. It wasn't just an isolated encounter anymore. It hinted at a network, or worse, a presence. At mission control, the atmosphere shifted from fascination to a subtle unease. The team, long accustomed to the loneliness of deep space exploration, now found themselves dealing with something unclassifiable. Every data packet retrieved from Voyager 1 underwent deeper scrutiny, as teams of physicists, mathematicians, and astrobiologists combed through the signals. Though no consensus emerged on the origin or purpose of the patterns, one fact was unanimously agreed upon. This event could not be dismissed as a fluke of hardware or random cosmic interference. one of the most perplexing aspects was the nature of the signal itself. Traditional communication systems, whether natural or artificial, operate within predictable ranges. Radio waves, X-rays, gamma bursts. But the signal received by Voyager didn't fit neatly into any of these categories. It straddled boundaries of multiple frequencies, creating harmonic interferences and phase shifts that shouldn't naturally occur in such an environment. In a way, it resembled a kind of interstellar encryption, as though it were meant to be indecipherable, or at least only decipherable to those with the right key. To many, this phenomenon breathed new life into theories long relegated to the fringes of science. Concepts such as technosignatures, dark biospheres, or even shadow civilizations, hypothetical constructs existing beyond our standard dimensions of perception, suddenly felt less far-fetched. If something could engineer a signal with such precision in such a desolate region of space, then it likely had capabilities far beyond our own. The philosophical weight of such an idea is difficult to overstate. Moreover, Voyager 1's encounter raised fundamental questions about our assumptions regarding deep space exploration. Until now, the pursuit had been largely observational. We sent instruments outward to passively collect data, confident that the universe would remain indifferent to our gaze. But what if we were wrong? What if, in our efforts to study the cosmos, we had inadvertently drawn attention to ourselves? The idea that Voyager might have been noticed is as thrilling as it is unsettling. It suggests a universe that is reactive, perhaps even watchful. The encounter also had a curious psychological effect on those involved. The Voyager team, some of whom had been monitoring the spacecraft for decades, began speaking of the probe in more animate terms. It wasn't just a machine anymore, it was a witness, a sentinel that had brushed against something profoundly other. That feeling extended beyond the scientific community. As news of the encounter slowly leaked, public fascination surged. Social media buzzed with speculation, ranging from the hopeful to the apocalyptic. Theories abounded. First contact, dimensional anomalies, alien probes disguised as cosmic dust. While many were fanciful, they all shared a common root, an acknowledgement that something remarkable had occurred. Adding to the mystery was the discovery of a secondary anomaly in Voyager 1's power systems. The probe had long been operating on dwindling reserves of nuclear energy, its instruments slowly shutting down one by one to conserve power. Yet, in the hours surrounding the signal event, there was a measurable uptick in energy output from its thermoelectric generators, an increase too substantial to be explained by known physical processes or random fluctuation. Some posited that the spacecraft had been momentarily energized by the encounter, either by an external source or as a result of interaction with the signal itself. If true, it suggested not just a communication, but a transfer of energy, of information, or perhaps something else entirely. This energy anomaly raised new lines of inquiry. Could the signal have carried a payload? Was Voyager 1 now altered in some fundamental way? Subsequent diagnostics showed no obvious tampering or damage, but subtle shifts in calibration hinted at changes beneath the surface. Components that had been degrading now operated with surprising consistency. Systems previously thought dormant began to return low-level activity. It was as if the spacecraft, aging and alone for so long, had been momentarily rejuvenated by its brush with the unknown. Another surprising development came when Voyager 2, trailing millions of kilometers behind its sibling, began registering similar but fainter disturbances. Though the signals were less coherent and shorter in duration, they bore unmistakable resemblance to the patterns that had first emerged near Voyager 1. This indicated not only a broad distribution of the phenomenon, but also its potential mobility or ability to interact across wide expanses of space. Voyager 1 might not be alone in more ways than one. These simultaneous encounters hinted at coordination, or at least a shared environment shaped by forces yet to be understood. Perhaps the interstellar medium was more dynamic than previously believed. Perhaps regions of space could host complex fields or consciousness-like networks invisible to the naked eye. Such ideas skirted the edge of science fiction, but Voyager's data forced scientists to consider them with renewed seriousness. After all, no one had expected this. The encounter had rewritten the boundaries of possibility. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, could you leave your comments below and tell us, what are your thoughts on Voyager 1's new encounter? What do you think it means? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching and see you next time.